It's not a battle of liberals versus conservatives. It is about freedom versus bondage. You do not need to be a community organizer or a graduate of a government-mandated community service course to understand our responsibilities to one another. We are to care for the widows and orphans. We are to provide for the poor, tend to the sick, and lift up the downtrodden. We used to fulfill those on a personal level through our communities, our churches, and our synagogues. But sadly, we have abdicated our responsibilities, forfeiting them to a government that has enslaved us. This is a hard word, but because we've chosen to reject our responsibilities, the government is happy to take our money and create programs to meet the needs. But it doesn't stop there. If one program is good, then 2 dozen are even better. And so more and more is taken away from us. T. Coleman Andrews, the commissioner of the IRS from 1953 to 1955, put it this way: I don't like the income tax. Every time we talk about these taxes, we get around to the idea from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. That is socialism, and it's in the Communist Manifesto. By the way, Commissioner Andrews resigned his post in opposition to the income tax. He took a stand. Herbert Hoover observed that every collectivist revolution rides in on a Trojan horse of emergency. It was the tactic of Lenin, of Hitler, and of Mussolini. Does this sound familiar? Was this not the same tactic used by our government to pass the stimulus bill? A bill that was so urgent that there was not even adequate time to read it. I tell you plainly, those that stood opposed to that bill stood for freedom in the Constitution. Those that voted for it, they betrayed our trust. The course out of this mess is what used to be called everyday courage. Doing what is right just because it is. And doing it without regard to whether we personally benefit or not. Benjamin Franklin said that when the people find they can vote themselves money, that will herald the end of the Republic. Well, that's what is happening right now. It will be difficult to return to common sense financial principles, but it's not impossible. It's what we as individuals and as a nation need to do. It's very, very basic. Don't spend what we don't have. We've developed a culture of idolatry enabled by massive debt, both personal and public. Just as sacrifices have been made to idols, we are sacrificing the future of our children and our nation on the altar of materialism. Thomas Jefferson said that we did produce a near perfect republic, but will they keep it? Or will they, in the enjoyment of plenty, lose the memory of freedom? Material abundance without character is the path of destruction. This is the essence of our current circumstance. Lack of character resulting in immorality and irresponsibility. One of the quickest and surest ways to reduce taxes is to reduce spending. It used to be that if you could not afford to pay cash for something, you didn't buy it. If we needed it or wanted it, the answer was simple. We saved for it. This is thrift. It's a concept that has lost its luster in our debt-driven culture. It was not the founders' intent that the government would confiscate and spread wealth. but rather provide the opportunity to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. That is the promise of America.
Yeah!
We are unfaithful to our nation when we ask the government to do things that we ought to do for ourselves. We have become, and I apologize kids, but we have become prostitutes to programs that promise to meet our perceived need. We're like drug addicts in need of intervention. The only reasonable and sane way to fund necessary and constitutional government roles is through a national sales tax, the fair tax.